Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rob Smith, and I am president of the Eli Lilly and Company Foundation. On behalf of my Lilly colleagues, the Indiana Department of Education, BioCrossroads, and the iSTEM Network, I welcome you to the Lilly Corporate Center for the 2010 Indiana Science Summit. Thank you all so much for being here today. I'm going to make a few introductory comments, and then I'll walk through today's agenda and then provide a high-level review of some of the logistics for the day. So I'll be finished in about 10 minutes total, and then we'll start with our program. We're having this meeting today in a building that showcases the 134-year history of Eli Lilly and Company, one that has been built right from the very start on scientific research. In fact, Eli Lilly, who is the grandson of our company founder, once said of the company that science is the heart of the business and the soul of the enterprise. For a company like ours, science is our lifeblood. And to be successful going forward, we need access to a deep pool of scientific talent, and more broadly, we must have a general population that increasingly has higher levels of scientific literacy. As a result, Lilly has a keen interest in K-12 science education, and we want to be a better and more active partner with all of you to drive measurable improvements. And you have joined us today for this summit because you share this commitment, and you also know the urgency of our situation. You know the statistics. American students underperform other nations in science and science literacy. In Indiana, our performance relative to other states is basically in the middle of the pack. Our performance in science is problematic on a number of levels, but particularly in an economic context. Economic growth and prosperity in the 21st century will be increasingly driven by those working in STEM fields or having strong STEM-related skills. In Indiana specifically, STEM-related fields are currently a powerful source of economic activity. Almost 500,000 people in the state of Indiana are currently employed in the life and health sciences industry. Science-related occupations are on the Hoosier Hot 50 job list in the state of Indiana in every region of the state. And the Indiana Department of Workforce Development projects that we will need 40,000 new positions filled, good-paying jobs in science will need to be filled by the year 2014. These opportunities, if we are to realize them, require strong and increasingly rigorous preparation in K-12 science, and I think we all have an appreciation that now is the time to drive improvement. In fact, we are in a time of real consequence and real opportunity regarding science education in Indiana. 2010 and 11 represent a critical window for science education reform because new curricular materials will be adopted in 2011 that will be used for the next 6 years. We must take this opportunity as a state to broadly adopt materials that are backed by proven research demonstrating their effectiveness. To be sure, there will be challenges that we must address to successfully adopt and implement such an inquiry-based curriculum. For example, we must figure out the logistics of refurbishing and transporting science kits, and we must support rigorous professional development. But there is good news. By working together, Indiana does in fact have the capacity to make these important changes, and we will emphasize this throughout the course of today's summit. In short, we must have a bias for action. All of us, the private sector, the education community, the nonprofit community, all of us must leverage the resources we have and orient ourselves toward meaningful, measurable improvements. It is up to us to insist that schools across the state adopt the right materials, provide appropriate professional development and content training, set up an efficient process for science kits, and objectively evaluate our progress. Again, to be sure that there are challenges that we can overcome, but again, we have the capacity to make these changes, and as a consequence, this is an exciting time by working together. So let us commit not just to talk today, but to action. Let's hold each other accountable for driving results. We have too much at stake to do otherwise. Thank you for your attention, for your attendance today, for the work that you will put in today, but most importantly, the work and commitment in the days, weeks, and months ahead. So with those opening comments, let me provide a quick overview of today's agenda. In our morning session, if we could pull up the agenda slide. In our morning session, which will run from now until a little bit after noon today, we will hear from several speakers. First, Dr. Sally Schuler from the National Science Resource Center. Sally will talk about changing the course of STEM education. The next session will feature a very good review of the current state of science education in Indiana. And the speakers we will have for that session will be Dr. Bill Walker from the iSTEM Resource Network and Dr. Jenny Hicks from the Department of Education. And our last speaker in the morning session will be Dr. Mike Clenchey from San Diego State University. Mike is also the former superintendent of a school corporation in California, the El Centro School District, a low-income school district that saw significant improvements in student performance. So Mike, among other things, will have deep expertise and firsthand experience regarding the advantages of inquiry-based learning. You have the clicker right there. I have the clicker. So, okay. Thank you, Sherry. There we go. I am trainable. So again, Mike will be our speaker that will round out the morning session. And then after that, we will have an opportunity for a break, and then we will be escorted to our lunch. There'll be plenty of signs and escorts to get us to the building where we were having our lunch. For the afternoon session, which will be starting at 12:30, Brandon Sorge, who is also from the iSTEM Resource Network, and my Lilly colleague Karen Heilman will be presenting, and we'll be focusing on how we can best collaborate and make the necessary changes in Indiana to improve science education. We will close with comments from Eli Lilly and Company CEO, Dr. John Lechleiter, and comments and a call to action from our Superintendent of Public Instruction, Dr. Tony Bennett.